That again. Good morning. It's Thursday, September 18th, 2025. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Qigong. This class is going to cover the second exercise in Wudang Qigong, pushing the mountain. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about two similar kinds of things. One is why we practice. What's the point? What are we doing? Right? And second, because there's several levels to that. And then second one is for part of the practice, for the outward part of the practice. Why do we not want to use it? I'm going to practice this. I'm going to learn it. Why would I not want to use it? There's a part of ethics that goes along with foundation training. In most cases, it shows up in the school and the class that the person's in, the way that other people treat each other, the example that the teacher sets. I don't have a big class here behind me. There's a bunch of folks out there that are following me, but I no. So what I'm going to try to do is explain a little bit this idea. It's part philosophy, it's um, part training. So it's how do I say this? If you practice well, there are some things that you should not do because it's not fair. Okay, so the idea of a fair engagement, a fair fight, if I were to go to a competition and I enter the beginner division, it would not be fair. It would not. And it would be immediately apparent that I'm not a beginner. It'd be really obvious. That idea is the same kind of thing that we apply when we're thinking about applications, when we're thinking about doing something outwardly. Is this an appropriate thing to do in the context? And what's on the other side of whatever it is that I'm going to try to do? So the first thing, and I've talked about this before, and you just saw me do this, standing, just being able to stand here. That takes practice. It takes paying attention to your feet, paying attention to your balance, paying attention to how you have placed all of your body parts so that your body alignment is the least strenuous. So if I'm leaning forward, I have to do something with my back because I'm leaning forward, and I have to grip with my toes, and I have to really pull on my hip because I'm leaning forward. If I'm not leaning forward, all of that can relax. That skill is something that we're going to practice right now. So, feet about shoulder width apart. Start there. That is fundamental. That is the foundation for everything that we do. Right? There are other postures, other positions that we will pay attention to. In this class, we're going to work on a horse stance. And I'm going to get there in just a second. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand there. Don't do anything. Just stand there. All right. Hands at your sides. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Basic stretch. Hands circle to the front. Hands back around to both sides. Up along the center line. Fingertips reach up. Stretch out. Bend the knees. Roll up through the back. I'm going to do this 3 times. Smile just a little bit. Not a big happy smile, just a little bit of a smile. As we smile, we relax. It's very hard to be tense when you're smiling. It is. Stretch. Reach out. Roll up through the back. Fingertips reach up. And elbows drop down, hands return to your sides. This idea of smiling, as we practice, we want to relax the body. The more relaxed we can be, the easier it is to find those muscles that we need to use and engage them. It's technique that's applied in many disciplines. Okay, so feet about shoulder width apart. And now we're going to take 2 turns. 1, 2, 3. Straighten the toes. Okay, that sets up your separation, the width of your feet for a horse stance. You should not be wider than what you can extend. So my being out here, I can't do that. I can't. Partly because my legs are not that long. All right? That's not good for me. Here is better. This I can do. Right? In practicing pushing the mountain, we pay attention to a horse stance. That is the position that we're using. So your feet are wider than shoulder width. And notice the bend, and notice where my legs are, notice my back. Nope. Nope. Straight down. Bend the knees. The knees stay straight over the toes. Don't wobble them out. Don't let them fall in. So don't do this. Don't turn your knees out so they're going out to the outside of your foot. Keep your knees straight over the toes. The more you pay attention to that good alignment, the easier it is to work lower. Okay? And the other thing that pay attention to, I just changed my stance because as I'm thinking about where I can work and what I can do, I realized that I was wider. My legs were wider than they needed to be. They need to be that wide. Not for today anyway. All right. Pushing the mountain. We have feet about a little bit wider than shoulder width. As I breathe in, the hands come up. As I breathe out, both hands press down. Both hands up again and press out to the front. This is where we really pay attention to that stance. Feet need to be well placed. If they're not, you're going to lean forward or back. You don't want to lean forward or back. So place your feet. Toes grip just a little bit. Drop the heel. As we breathe in, the palms come up. Fingertips to the front. Breathe in. Fingertips stay to the front. The hands turn over and press down. Sink as you press down. As you breathe in, the palms come up. Straighten the legs. And breathe out again. Press out. Fingertips are up. Hands come out straight. Both sides of your chest. The arms are straight out of the shoulder. Little bit of space between the upper arm and the upper chest. Just enough to move the arm. And breathe in. Breathe out. Keep the back straight. And breathe in. And breathe out. Sink. And breathe in. Straighten the legs and relax. At the end of this exercise, we do the same set that we will do with everything. So both hands down along both sides, pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels, and lower. That series at the end of the set is what we're going to do. Right now, I'm going to turn around because I'm emphasizing this idea of bending the knees and keeping the back straight. So it's up and down. It's right here. That's it. Pay attention to your posture. Pay attention to the center through the middle. Keep your spine and your back straight 2 times. And breathe in. And breathe out. Sink. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Pull in as you breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Straighten. And breathe in. All right. Relax for a minute. This breathing combination, I will talk about it at length many more times. The use of the breath with the movement is essential for Qigong practice, and it is something that we must coordinate for all of the applications. Excuse me. In this particular set, there is an obvious external application. It's right here, push. We have this push in Tai Chi and in the Qigong sets we're going to work on tomorrow. This push is straight to the front. And it's got just a little bit of the idea of up and then down. So, and. As we develop the strength to do this, I'm going to talk a little bit, why not do it? Why not? Somebody's in my way, why not just push them out of the way? Besides being incredibly rude, all right? just why not? All right? There's at a point where there might be, okay, somebody is coming at me and they are being incredibly rude to me and they're right up in my face and I just would like very much to make them go away. I can't do that. I would like to, but ethically, I do this. I'm going to protect myself. At the point where somebody grabs my hand, then I can do something. All right, but up to that point, I'm the not beginner, and the other person is likely someone who doesn't know any better. Because I will guarantee you that anyone who trains for a period of time, a long period of time, knows better. You don't. That impulse is something that we pay attention to. We do. It's something that we develop a skill to work with, and we get better. We should get better at deciding not to do whatever it is. Do we really have to do that? I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I don't want to. You just give my hand back. I'm going to, that idea that I would rather not is so very important in all of the things that we're learning how to do. It's not the skill to be able to do something. It's the skill to know how to do it and decide not to. That ethical choice is foundation. If I had somebody come in a real world class, in-person class, somebody comes into my class and they demonstrate that they're going to be a bully. They're not going to be in my class very long. And most of the time, that type of person is not going to be at all interested in anything that I might have to teach. There's a benefit on that side for me as well. That idea that someone who wants to be a bully wants to learn. I'm not going to teach that person. And the judgment that we develop to decide yes or no, I'm not going to teach that person. Yes, I am going to teach that person. What are we going to do with this? How to develop that judgment and those skills is part of what we do. It's not all of a sudden magic. It's years of practice. You go to class, you show up, you find out this, you learn that. It's built over time. That is one of the reasons that I'm still here. It's been developed over time. And I'm not ready to quit just yet. That sense of, I want to keep going. And the habit of continual practice is part of why I'm still here. All right. Feet about shoulder width apart. Relax through the back, relax through the upper body. Shift back onto the heels, open the toes. Shift forward on the toes, open the heels. Shift to the center, open the toes. Keep the knees over the toes. This is your horse stance. Pay attention to this idea of up and down, that you have to be slightly behind. Your hip has to be slightly behind your heel in order for you to sit. Yeah, it was a little bit too wide. All right, and breathe in. Palms up. Breathe out. Press down. Repetition is 6. Breathe in. Breathe out. That was 1. Breathe in. Pull in to both sides of the chest. Breathe out. Press down. Return to the lower Tantien. Breathe in. And breathe up. That circulation I talked about from the lower Tantien down, up the back, and then down the front. Pay attention to that. Small heavenly circle. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. Set the heel of the hand. Keep your feet well placed as you settle. Hold the back. Hold through the center. And breathe in. 2 more. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pull up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hands down along both sides. Breathe out. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels just a little and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. This type of practice where we're using more strength. This is strength building practice. If your legs don't hurt, you weren't doing it. Okay? Yeah, I'll tell you. The goal here is the thighs should be parallel to the floor. I don't know if I'm there. I don't think I'm there yet, but let's see. Yeah, nope, not. See my butt? It should not be there. All right, that was correct. That my back was correct, and I didn't get as low. Leg strength, strength through the knees, and even more importantly, the holding strength through the torso is what will get you up and down. It's not all in the legs. There's a lot of work that goes on in the back and the torso. This is, again, this idea of fundamentals. The body's straight. Everything's working in harmony. Great. Next. Which muscles need to work? Which muscles can relax? Which muscles have to do which kinds of movement? What has to hold? What has to pull? What has to be flexible to allow you to go up and down? Again, the more flexible and the more tensile strength your muscles have, the easier it is to do the more extended movements. This same set, breathe in, and breathe out, and breathe in, breathe out. Much smaller movement, much more focused on what's going on inside than what's going on outside. This distinction, I want to develop my physical body. I want to build my physical strength. I want to build my internal body. I want to pay attention to my internal strength. Both come together. They're not separate. But as we practice over time, not just this week, last week, next month, over time, years. I'm 40 years in. All right. So over time, we learn how to best cultivate those skills that we're trying to develop. The skills that I wanted to develop 30 years ago, not the same as the skills that I want to develop now. I have some of what I developed 30 years ago. I'm fuzzy on some of it because I'm not 30 years younger. All right? There are some things that I wanted to do with much more athleticism. Then I'm not really interested in doing so much of that now. Now, I'm not. That happens with most of us. It's part of the aging process. As we keep practicing those things that we have found to be of value, we develop new ways of using them and new ways of cultivating those same personal qualities, if you will. I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn. I am. I try to be a little easier about it sometimes, but I am incredibly stubborn. That's done good things for me. That how does that? It's given me my practice. It's been good to me. That stubbornness has been good, something good for me. Now I could use it to be more of a negative, but I used it to be much more of a positive thing. I'm still here. I'm stubborn. I'm going to keep practicing until I can. And that idea that I want to do this, that I'm going to keep doing it, that I want enough variety. I practice several different things. I want enough variety that if I decide I'm going to practice Qigong this morning and I want something that's um, more athletic, that's going to have more of a requirement, maybe I can work on dragon and tiger joined together, right? Balance, placement, lots of things. I was a little off on that first one. I'm off on the left side this morning. But you get the idea, right? I can practice that set. And I have all sorts of other things to practice that go along with this whole concept of the arts, the internal martial arts, developing the internal workmanship, developing the inner self, developing the outer self, and building the character that comes back to practice in, I'm going to wind this up here pretty quick. In Chinese, and I may have mentioned this before, there's a concept called the chiku. Now, chikuma, can you eat bitter? Do you know what bitterness means? Do you know what it means to keep practicing? Even maybe some difficulties, some problems. Do you know what it means to find a way to deal with internally, yourself, within yourself, to find a way to deal with whatever that is, whatever that problem is, so that you can keep practicing? Now, Chikuma. It's harder than it sounds. I'll be back tomorrow with the applications for sets 6, 7, and 8. They correlate with our Tai Chi. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it.